Hi, it's Sydney Rafe, the host of Metabolism Diaries, and we're back with another episode. This guest is extremely special. I met him a few years ago at my friend's wedding. His name is Nick. He works in real estate, and he's one of the most hilarious people I've ever met. And now I have to say, one of the wisest. I'm so excited to share what he's taught me about his GLP-1 journey. He's lost about 130 pounds, and he has an incredible outlook on it. And I can't wait for you to listen to this. So let's get into it. I usually start by asking people, when was the moment that you decided you were going to try a GLP-1?
So I had been thinking about it for a really long time, mostly because it is just part of our culture now. And everyone is talking about it, everyone's on it, the housewives are on it. It's just I'd struggled with weight my entire life. And it was just felt like one of those things that was unattainable
Yeah.
at the beginning. And then all of a sudden, I felt like there were so many options that were more affordable. And I do understand I live in a kind of a privileged position where I can afford it, but it's not like I could afford the extremely expensive options. They're just
Okay.
compounded versions now. And I was thinking about it kind of quietly and not really talking to anybody. And then on New Year's Eve last year, so December 31st, 2024, after a night out with the gays, my one of my best friends and I were just talking late, kind of in various states of whatever we were, but he said something to me that really resonated, where he was just like, I feel like you're not taking care of yourself in the way that you take care of other people. And I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm in the process of trying to have a kid, and I want you to be there for that kid and for me. And I just don't know, based on the way that I see you living, if that's going to be a guarantee. And it was said to me in a way that felt extremely he saw me, and he also really cared about me. And it kind of just triggered this thing of that I'd already been thinking about into a reality that it could be. He was like, I'll help. I don't know why you don't try this. And I think my biggest fear was that, what if it doesn't work? This felt like the wild card Hail Mary pass. Sorry for using a sports reference. It's not really my MO usually. Well,
I didn't even catch it. I was like, and now I get it.
if it didn't work for me, then what other options did I have? Was I just going to be like this forever? But it was that conversation specifically that made me feel like I need to really do research into what I should do and what my options are. Can I afford it? But I was like, you can't pay for it. But when he was like, I'll pay for it, he was so invested in me that he was willing to invest in me. And I was like, why can't I invest in myself
Yeah.
for this reason? And it was still scary. I didn't know it was going to work. I didn't know what it was
Yeah.
going to feel like. I didn't know what it was going to be like. I'd always had this weird relationship with food, and the way that I dealt with everything it involved food, even if I didn't want to admit it back then. And now I've had some mental clarity on that after the year's journey.
Mhm.
But there was just so many unknowns, and I felt so out of control. And starting this was also something I was out of control of, because I had no idea what it was going to be like, and
Yeah.
if it was going to work for me, or what it was even going to feel like. And I didn't really know anyone who was on it to give me any advice. And I felt weird and shameful about asking for it. And this was all now I'm super open about it, because it is what it is, and it's helpful. And if I can help anybody on that journey, or help them try to make a decision that's informed. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to, it's just, and every person's journey is different. I'm not an example, I'm a resource.
Mhm.
And that's what I
I love that.
tell a lot of my friends who have started it, that I might have been an inspiration for, or whatever it is, but they now have someone close to them who's done it. And that's the first thing I tell them. I was like, you can't use my results as a gauge for your own.
Mm-mm.
You're a woman, or you're a different age, or
Yeah.
live a different life. You live in a different city. It's just going to be different every time. But anyway, very long-winded and long story. That was the moment, New Year's Eve. And it felt, I mean, in some stupid fantasy world way, it felt kind of cathartic for it to happen in between midnight and the next day of the new year. And
Yeah.
it just was poetic in its
Hmm.
own way. It all happened kind of, I think, the way that it was supposed to.
Definitely. And if you're comfortable sharing, can you share around how much weight you've lost?
So, I have at the moment lost, depending on the day, anywhere between 127 pounds and 130. I weigh myself every day based on what the program that I did and where I get my medication, it's like kind of breaks the stigma. So I've just gotten into the habit of weighing myself every day, but I'm also aware that your weight fluctuates based on random things. So that's
Right.
why it's like,
Yeah.
it's not just one number and it's not just like I weighed myself and now it's over. It's going
Mhm.
to be a constant thing I do. But yes, 100 and let's just call it 127 pounds.
Wow.
When I started this, so I didn't start that day, obviously,
Mhm.
but when I weighed myself for the first time when I started this, I was 324.6 pounds. And then today I weighed myself and I was 198.8,
Wow.
which is more weight than my mother. I lost my mother.
That's a great way to put it. So I love how you said you didn't think this was going to work for you when you heard about the medication. Can you speak a little bit more about that? Because I've heard many people say, like, there have been so many promises in the marketing world about losing weight, and it's like this one actually could work.
Yeah, I think that it just felt like an unattainable, it didn't feel real. It didn't feel like a real thing. Like, what is it going to do? How am I going to feel? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Hmm.
I've never been able to lose, like, I've lost weight before doing like crazy things, but I've never been able to keep it off. And like, it's only been a year and I've only been in like my maintenance journey for like a month or 2 months, I guess. So like every day is going to be a new day, but it didn't feel real. And it also, I think it just stemmed from like a lot of like my own shame and stigma around my weight, being
Hmm.
like, am I even worthy of it? Like, am I capable of this? Like, I wasn't capable. If I'm not capable of living a life already that would allow me to have a healthy habits, like, how is this injection going to change the way that I think? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because like I did research about it before about like what it does and how it works, and it doesn't make you lose weight. It doesn't melt fat away. Like it
Hmm.
helps you lose weight, but it doesn't like it's not the potion. It's not a
Yeah.
potion in any way. Like I changed everything about my life and it just allowed me to have the mental clarity and ability to make those changes, even though I had all these mental blocks about food.
Yeah.
It did change the way that I think. I made the decisions to consciously think differently about food, but it allowed me to have the clarity to even have those internal thoughts, I think.
And how else would you describe it? I know some people say the food noise is just gone to some extent. Did you experience that?
Yeah, I think yes. I think food noise is kind of like a very good way of describing a lot of different things. Like I don't
Hmm.
think that food noise is the same for everyone. I think that it is like a very good descriptor of like how everyone kind of interacts or relates to that one thing that makes them like binge eat or overeat. And like, hi, I'm Nicholas. I'm a binge eater. I'm a fully capable of like admitting that now. Like now I think about it as food noise, but I wouldn't have thought about it before as like noise. I don't have like this voice in my head or like whatever. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like this instinctual instinct or habitual thing that I did where I was like, I'm celebrating, so I'm gonna eat a big meal, or I had a
Hmm.
rough day, so I'm gonna order like 2 meals from my favorite like Indian place and like I deserve it. I just continuously eat and just kind of got to a point in my life where I was like, I'm already like this, and like, there's nothing like what this isn't going to change one thing.
Hmm.
Like not eating this is not going to change the way I look. I think those a lot of those things are subconscious. I think it wasn't like I was actively having these conversations with myself. I've just had a lot of time to think about like the whys because I also
Yeah.
decided if I was going to do this, I wasn't going to just do it and just pretend like I didn't have like mental therapy to go through with
Yeah.
myself. I needed if I didn't pinpoint the why when I had the clarity, then I couldn't name it, I couldn't identify it, and I couldn't watch for it to come back. And again, it
Hmm.
hasn't been very long, so I'm not worried about it coming back, but, like, if I didn't, like, admit to myself that I was a binge eater or I did all of these things or all of these things were subconscious acts that are happening, like, why am I not hungry now when I would normally be at this time? And yes, have an appetite suppressant and all of these things that with the medication, but why was it the other way before? Because I wasn't hungry. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
like starving. I was never eating for fuel. I was never eating because like my body was telling me that I was hungry. I was eating because my mind told me I should, or
Hmm.
I deserved it, or I did all of these things. Like I don't think I ever even let my body feel hunger in the
Hmm.
way that like you would if you were just hungry for lunch because you had lived your
Something else.
life. I
Yeah.
was I'm going to eat something because I have a space in my day.
Yeah. Now that you don't have, like, food as much as an outlet for emotions, is there something else that you've picked up?
No, I think that I'm just was able, again, because I was trying to work it all out in my head. I'm just better able to deal with my emotions now that I have the space to do it. Like I think
That's
what it was avoidance. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily like I was incapable of dealing with these things
Mhm.
or living in them or feeling them. It was like I'm avoiding them with food and like the dopamine hit that you get from like eating your favorite food or something with a high
Yeah.
sugar content or fats and like all the things that make food taste good. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm eating food that doesn't taste good.
Mhm.
Just it's just different. And I'm more intentional about how and when and why I
Yeah,
do it as opposed to just living a life that is completely randomized and like I'm doing it just because.
definitely. And how else has your life changed? Have you worked out at all or
Yeah, so I did this whole journey through Noom, which is
Okay.
a cognitive behavioral weight loss app that I'd used before without the medication, and I
Mm.
lost like maybe 50 pounds over like 6 months of like
Wow.
intense calorie deficit, working through my relationship with food. But like 1 week away and like one family emergency, and everything felt like I couldn't get back on track. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
all of a sudden 2 weeks went by and I didn't do like what I was supposed to be doing. And I just felt like I couldn't come back from it. Like all of it had unraveled, which
Mhm.
isn't true, but my brain wasn't hardwired to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So because I had a good experience with that, I decided to use Noom this time because they do have Noom Med where they offer the medication if you qualify, which I did because
Mhm.
I was not severely, well, I was kind of severely overweight, but
Mhm.
and it came with the same app of like food logging, weighing yourself every day, mini lessons about like how the medicate. This one included like how medication works, like how different metabolic things that happen in our body. And I'm very big on like the why. If I know the why, then I'm happy to do the thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was that, and it's kind of like a gamified in my head, it's like a little bit of a game, like you log all your meals, like you're trying
Mm.
to get your step goal, you're tracking your water, and you have all of these things you're trying to work towards.
Mhm.
And it isn't a game, but I felt like I needed to beat the day. Like I wanted to really show up and do it. And having this
Yeah.
structured, like you do a body scan, which is probably not as good as if you went to a doctor, but it's like an AI body scan. It tells you what your calorie output is. It tells you what your calorie deficit should be. So I ate in a calorie deficit for 10 months in addition to taking the medication. Like I wasn't just taking it and then hoping for the best. Like
You
I
were
want
tracking your
it.
calories.
And I also didn't want to have an opposite disordered eating. Like I didn't want to be like,
Yeah.
I'm not eating. Like I was very adamant about I'm going to eat the like protein that they recommend. I'm going to eat everything that they tell me I'm supposed to. And it would like increase your calories based on any workouts you did or walking that you did because everything was
Yeah.
connected because you're supposed to eat, you're supposed to fuel your body. So it just like helped me understand how to fuel my body and what to, and also when to be able to celebrate, like actually go out with my friends. Like I didn't want to go to a restaurant and have to be like, I'm going to eat dry lettuce and whatever. Like
Yeah.
I've eaten a calorie deficit for the week. Like I'm not going to overeat, but I'm going to order what I want. Like I
Yeah.
want to, I'm here with my friends. I'm 35 in New York. Like going out to dinner is
Yeah.
the moment. Like we're
It
not
is.
like going to dinner and then going to do something. Like
It's the
we're going to sit
moment.
here and
Yeah.
enjoy the together. And at the beginning, it was harder for me to do that because I was like really trying to change the way that I ate and all of
Mhm.
that. But as it progressed, it was better. But anyway, I did also start working out very loosely. I didn't work out. I am not a sporty queen in any way. Like it's just not, I still don't love it, but I
Yeah.
do because it does like help the mental clarity. Like I do
Mhm.
understand the benefits and why people do it. Like before I used to like make jokes about couldn't be me, but
Yeah.
it's me, but I'm not going to pretend like I love it now. Like I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm obsessed with the gym. I love going. I don't. I go because
Yeah.
it makes me feel physically good. And
Yeah.
that's enough for me.
That's
But
great.
I was adamant about not doing that until about 3 months into it because I was walking a lot as much as I could because walking was a big thing that they recommended. but they also you can start to have muscle
Mhm.
mass loss because you are in a calorie deficit. So if you're not like working out to build up your like the calories you need, then you're not eating the right amount of
Mm.
food. But I was like, I need to get my food under control before I add this extra thing. Like I was adamant about not overwhelming myself because
Yeah.
my trigger for food was being overwhelmed. So if
Mhm.
I created this process and I tried to do everything all at once, I would have been completely overwhelmed, lost. I would have given up and
Yeah.
I would have gone right back to what I was doing before. I think like that was my one of my fears. And so I was like, get your food under control. I meal prepped. I probably bought lunch at the office and I come in every day 4 to 5 times in 9 months. Like everything I was eating that wasn't
Oh.
like a friend's birthday dinner or going out to a different restaurant was I deleted my DoorDash pass. I deleted all of like I didn't delete the apps, but like I made it so that it was super expensive for me to order food because I don't know what I'm putting in my body when I do that. And I was like trying
Wow.
to track everything that I was doing. And now I'm a little bit more lax because if I wanna order something, I can, like, I don't need to be but I was, like, hyper focused because I'm not getting any younger, and I had finally had that trigger happen, that conversation with my friend,
Mhm.
um, and I know that all my other friends were talking about it, but they didn't know how to I was, like, also kind of depressed, I think, and
Mhm.
I was combative, and I was, defensive, and
Yeah.
no one wants to fight a Sagittarian queen, like, "Where don't come for me." And but it was because of that, I wasn't hearing or seeing it from everyone, which
Mhm.
I guess I needed. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of like my whole life has changed in that the way that I eat it has changed. Everything that I do now that revolves around food is intentional. Like I know the rules, so when I break them, I'm breaking them on purpose,
Mhm.
not because I'm just like not like I know that I'm doing this. I'm choosing
Yeah.
to do this, and it's okay for me to want to do this. And I'm not gonna gain 130 pounds back in one night. Like, I think what people don't realize is that it took me years to gain 130 pounds,
Yeah.
and I lost it in a year, which might be too soon. I was a little obsessive, like, I'm a kind of all in or all out, but I
Mm.
wasn't doing I really was not doing it in a way that was, um unhealthy. Like
Mhm.
I didn't make any compromises to what I was doing. Like I was like, I'm gonna eat these things, I'm gonna eat the protein, but it like I wouldn't be like, this is too hard, I'm not doing it. I was like, I'm doing it even if I have to after work go to Trader Joe's on a Friday, like whatever it is,
So
like whatever I
impressive.
have to do to make this happen, I'm gonna do it. So I lost 130 pounds in a year, but I can't gain 130 pounds even in a week. You couldn't
Yeah.
get 130 pounds. I mean, if you were I really don't think I mean, it's definitely not possible, but,
Yeah.
like, now that I have this I tell this to my friends, I have 2 friends who are doing it, I was like and they always, get really discouraged, and I was like, "I've been there, but, like, remember, like, you can't gain back everything that you're doing that you
Mhm.
did in one day. A
Yeah.
day it's just one day." I do think that it's also important to have balance, and, like, I didn't
Mhm.
wanna lose weight to have a miserable life. Like, that's not what I'm doing, I wanted to do it so I felt healthier, and I didn't have to feel self-conscious about being in certain scenarios and wear
Yeah.
clothes that I can buy from a regular store. Like, I was getting to a point where I was gonna have to, like, special order my clothes from, like, a big and tall
Mhm.
situation. It was totally fine, but it made me like, I didn't wanna go shopping, I didn't wanna get wasn't buying new clothes. I wasn't happy, I
Yeah.
guess. And it sucks to say it like that because I don't think that happiness should be derived from the way that you look, but I think that the way that I looked was a result of me not being happy. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy and it compounded on
Yeah.
itself.
And it's how you feel.
And so that's like my personal journey. And
Yeah.
I again, like I'm gay, I live in New York, like being overweight was tough.
Mhm.
And I always will like I don't judge anybody about anything, but it was tough to be in those scenarios with like all of my friends and I kind of just feel like I don't belong.
Yeah.
And not that any of them made me feel that way. It like not like specifically made me feel that way with like their
Mhm.
words, but like maybe some of their like subconscious actions or like me reading into things and like all of these things
Yeah.
were just and it but it again, there are also those same people And those same scenarios I still don't feel comfortable in, and it has nothing to do with the way that I look. So
Yeah.
there's no like correct answer or thing magical thing. Like I'm still me. I'm like me in new packaging. And like I'm gonna like and dislike different things based on my experiences and like who I am.
Yeah.
But the best thing that came out of this is the way that approach the world, the way that I think, and the way that I feel in like doing everyday tasks. Like it was hard to do things. There were
Yeah.
things I would just like completely ignore. Like there are barricades at my grocery store by my apartment that I could barely fit through. I had to like turn to the side and like suck in and like just random things so I would avoid that grocery store, like whether it was subconscious or not.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are more beneficial, I think. It's not about like I do feel great, like more confident in
Mhm.
how I can like approach situations and scenarios and events and all of those things.
Mhm.
But it's more about how I feel when I'm alone than how I feel with other people that are is, like, something that I celebrate. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what is important.
And how about side effects? Did you experience them?
So I didn't have very many side effects, to be honest with you, like, based on
That's
the ones that you
great.
can have.
Yeah.
The there are the normal ones that, like, everyone has, like,
Mhm.
slows down your digestion, so, like, there can be, like, some constipation or, like, just, like, not regular TMI, but not regular bowel movements just
Mhm.
because or like as regular as they used to be because your digestive system is slowed down, like from a scientific, biological, biochemistry perspective.
Yeah.
And so that's almost impossible to, from what I know, that's impossible to get around. But I was never nauseous. I also was on a compounded dose. So I started low and I just like increased based on what I needed or
Okay.
what I felt and based on the recommendation of the doctor on how much weight I was losing every 2 weeks. So I never took any like extremely high dose like off the bat.
Yeah.
I always had time to, like, readjust,
Okay.
and I never even got to the highest dose, like, I kinda stopped, and I think I'm about to start going back down to see how that works. It's like that's the new frontier, the new
Yeah.
unknown for me, like, I don't know how much of this is my life that I changed and how much of it is medication, but, like, I am less afraid than I was at the beginning because I know that I'm in more in control than I thought I would be.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I think it's really important because a lot of people think taking this drug is giving up, but it's not at all. It's a
No.
tool and it's a combination of things. You did so much hard work and you've been talking about all of that, which is so amazing and impressive.
Well, that's why I'm like really vocal about the fact that I'm on it because I'm
Yeah.
not embarrassed about it in any way. Like I was in a place where I had for me and the way
Mhm.
that my brain works and the life that I lived, I felt like I had no other options. Like there was no way for me personally to do it. And this is a tool, not a potion. Like it
Yeah.
really isn't. And like it doesn't melt fat away. Like I lost weight with
Yes.
help of the GLP-1 that slowed my metabolism down. It helped my like dopamine receptors. It helped me be able to differentiate what was my brain and what was my body. It
Yeah.
helped me do the things that I had to do. Like
Mhm.
I walked 17,000 steps on average a day
Wow.
based on choices that I was
Yeah.
making. I would walk I'm on 52nd Street and 5th, and I would walk to 14th and 8th to go home. Like I live in Brooklyn, so I was like not walking to Brooklyn, but
Yeah.
every day, like 3 to 4 times a week, I would do that,
Wow.
and then I would get off 2 stops before, like, just making the choice to walk wherever. I walked to
Mhm.
Williamsburg from Crown Heights one day, that was, like, an hour and a half, but I had
Wow.
the time, and I was, like, also going through this journey because I started in February. Most of my, like, situation happened in, like, spring, summer, fall, which obviously
Yeah.
very hard to walk 17,000 steps because it's, like, snowing, it's raining, it's 0 degrees, like, who wants to be doing that?
Mhm.
And I'm not a big treadmill girly, like, I really like walking with purpose, and I knew that about myself, so I knew that if I wanted 17,000 steps, those steps would have to happen between 2 things I needed to do,
Mhm.
opposed to and, like, the Trader Joe's closest to my apartment is in downtown Brooklyn. I do not live in downtown Brooklyn. I walk 45 minutes to get there. I do not walk back with the groceries, but I walk to get there. So it's just, like, things like that.
Making those changes.
Yeah.
And I know you were talking a little bit about like doubt at the beginning, like, is this really going to work? And so, how far into your journey were you like, wow, this is actually working? Was it months,
Uh,
weeks?
it was I think it was honestly, I can't really remember. So the thing is I was losing weight actively. Like,
Okay.
I was weighing myself every day, like, numerically, I was
Wow.
losing weight. Not every day, but, like, every week like, at the beginning and I don't really know the science behind this, but I think that at the beginning, I lost a lot of weight because I was, like, inflamed, I was eating really bad. Like, I think a lot of the weight that I initially lost had a lot more to do with, like, my water retention was down because I was
Yeah.
hydrating, my joints were not being inflamed because I was eating better. So, initially, it was like it felt like an insane it felt
Mhm.
almost not real. And
Yeah.
not like I was losing like 20 pounds, but I lost like 8 pounds in 2 weeks, and I was like, "That's crazy," but it didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
But then I started to feel it, like, in my clothes and, like, my waist. It was more like the clothing and stuff like that, that probably happened around, like, April. So
Okay.
it was probably like 2.5 months where I finally felt like I had lost enough weight that like my clothes were fitting differently.
Yeah.
And then in like May, I wore this shirt that was like my comfort shirt, kind of, because it was like for oversized people. It was like cut in a
Mm.
certain way. And I put it on to go out with my friends. And one of them looked at me and was like, "You can't wear that. That looks like a."
Yeah. Well,
I didn't even look in the mirror. I just put it on.
yeah.
Like, I used to not do that. I used to not like would put clothes on and I would just like go. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I ended up changing. And there's just like little things like that. It's like hard to see it on yourself. You know what I mean? Because I'm like
Definitely.
watching it happen all day, like every
Yeah.
day with me all the time. So like my perception of myself changes in milliseconds
Mhm.
with every step that I take. But
Yeah.
then you look back and then I started to look back at pictures and so but yeah, I think it's different for everyone. And also like the way that you lose weight, like I wasn't losing like all of my belly fat in ones and like all of my
Mhm.
heart fat. It was like incrementally everywhere. I was losing like millimeters, centimeter, and then all of a sudden it was inches. Like I used to be a 42 waist and now I'm a 32 waist. I
Wow.
used to be a double or triple XL and now I have shirts that are mediums and like I that's crazy. If I can buy something
Yeah.
in a home, it makes me feel both like I'm not living true to myself and two, like I'm living in a fantasy world. Like I never
Yeah.
thought I would be a medium ever in my life. Like
Wow.
I went from like kids to large. Like I've always been I'm like 6'1", like bigger person, but I
Mhm.
always had weight on me, like ever since puberty. Like I was a skinny child, like skinny baby, and then I hit puberty and all of a sudden, like I was like in husky pants and just like
Yeah.
it wasn't like extremely overweight in middle school or high school. I was just not your skinniest person. And I talked to my friend about this a lot, who I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school with, who is similarly like that. And then she gained a lot of weight and is going on this journey as well. But we thought we were so fat back then. And I was probably the size I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like societal and like, but you can't pretend like it doesn't affect you. Like
Mhm.
I can't sit here like I'm all for body positivity. I have had many bodies. I love all bodies. I think everyone should live in the body that makes them feel their best
Completely.
if they're doing it in a healthy way and just find that body for you. But this is how I feel good now.
Yeah.
You don't want to say it's because I look better. It's because I feel better.
Mhm.
It's because this is what works for me. Noticing it was crazy. I did lose a lot of weight in my face first, I would
Okay.
say. And so it was like my chin and neck and everything, like and cheek.
Yeah.
And so that was very apparent. That was probably the first thing I noticed where I was like this jawline is new,
Yeah.
just so you know.
And if you could, would you have started it sooner? I think there's a lot of fear about, it's becoming more readily available, more affordable for people, but it's a scary thing to decide to take because it feels so new.
One, I think everything in general happens for a reason when it's supposed
Mhm.
to. That's like the only thing I can believe.
Yeah.
I think that I started it at exactly the moment when I was ready to receive it in a way that was healthy. And
I love that.
that's for me. I We can talk about hypotheticals all we want, but
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't have been ready to do it before. Like I wouldn't have been doing it for the right reasons. I wouldn't have been
Mhm.
doing it with like a clear mind. It all happened the way it was supposed to based on like my own maturity and my own self reflection,
Yeah.
admitting things to myself. So if I could go back and change anything, I probably wouldn't because I don't
Yeah.
think I would be the person I am now if it didn't happen when it did.
That
And I
makes
think
sense.
that I probably would have abused it in a way that wouldn't have been healthy
Mhm.
at the other juncture of my life.
Yeah.
That just means like you never know though. Like who
Yeah,
knows?
of course, you never know. And are you able to drink alcohol? I know it changes your appetite for
Oh
it.
yeah. I mean, so I've been only drinking vodka sodas essentially since I
Okay.
was 19. So like I wasn't like I don't drink beer. I
Yeah.
drink wine like when it's available and like at dinners and like a more I'm an Italian American. Like I've been drinking wine since I was 11.
Okay.
Um but I don't drink it to get drunk. And I mean I have,
Yeah.
but I don't drink any of like the high sugar content spirits. I don't drink
Yeah.
beer. I don't drink cider. And so everyone's like, "Oh, does it different?" I was like, "I'm drinking the same thing I did before.
Yeah.
And this is what I probably would need to be drinking if I was because there's
Mhm.
like 80 calories and all of it's in the alcohol. There's like I'm drinking
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
essentially." But that's all I ever drank. So my drinking changed because I'm 35 now and I
Yes.
was 34 during this process. But
Yeah.
it didn't change. It wasn't like I'd already kind of toned down the going out life.
Yeah.
And so maybe if I started it earlier, it would have been different. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know. Like, I still, when I go out, I do drink like I'm going out, but I don't um, do it as often.
How often did you go to the doctor, and did you see your health results improve?
So the doctor I use for Noom is like Teledoc FaceTiming because it's all through them. I didn't have any like severe, besides the like immobility and like not like living a sedentary life, I didn't have like a ton of glaring issues. I probably was on the brink of a lot of them.
Mhm.
And I think that doing this was helpful.
Yeah.
I did have like a little bit of a sleep apnea situation going on. So that has
Okay.
cleared up. But I'm not going a ton to my doctor because I
Yeah.
don't have any like I'm not experiencing any like side effects that are bad and I'm also doing it in a way that I think is healthy so I'm not like malnourished or
Yeah.
those things. So I
Yeah.
just kind of check in and I log everything and like I have all of my stats and then I like check in and if there's no issues and like my blood work's all fine now. I was probably not pre-diabetic, but close to pre-diabetic before, and now like everything is fine. But I do think it's important for every person to like listen to their body and to their doctors. I haven't had any issues, but again, I'm a resource, not an example. If you're gonna do this journey, be like fully aware that it's about your health. The aesthetic portion of this is like a beautiful, if you want it to be, emergent outcome, but it can't be the
Yeah.
reason. Like if it's the reason, then you might be doing more harm to your body than you are good.
That makes sense.
But you need to be like fully aware that there are resources and you should utilize them if things don't feel right.
And my last question would be like, what would be your biggest piece of advice to someone who's just starting out on their journey?
Give yourself grace because making the decision to do it is so much more of a big deal than people give it credit for.
Hmm.
I was like in my head when I started, I was like, everyone was saying, why aren't you doing it? You should have just been doing it. And yeah, maybe I should have, but making the decision was like a really, really big deal that I didn't really clock back then.
Yeah.
But it was a moment that I said to myself that I was going to show up for myself and I was going to
Mhm.
do something to try to help live a better life. And so the first month and a half, you feel like nothing's happening, but so much is happening. Like,
Yeah.
and it get discouraged. Like 3.5 months later, I felt like I got a new shirt size. It didn't happen the next day. It didn't happen a month in. It's not going to happen overnight. And you feel, and then when you're figuring out how to manage this new food situation, your relationship with food, if that's why you're doing it,
Mhm.
like if you mess up or you eat something you think you shouldn't be, you're already leaps and bounds ahead of who you were before you made that decision.
Yeah.
So, like, give yourself grace and, like, celebrate your choice to do this, not
Mhm.
just the results or, like, the what you think societally, what would dictate what is a success. A
Yeah.
success is
Completely.
that you you decided to make this really tough decision, but mentally, physically, and probably financially, depending on where you are,
Yeah.
to show up for yourself. And I think that I feel that way now, but I feel like at the beginning, I wish I had someone to sit me down and tell me, like, you are a different person already because you decided that this was something you were going to try. And even if it doesn't work, you are a different person than you were before you decided to do it. Like, it's important to celebrate yourself and what you're doing and give yourself grace because there's no one size fits all program for this. And you have to figure out what works for you. And you're going to mess up. You're going to do things that you hate. You're going to do things that you probably wish you hadn't, but you're still being more informed and you're being more conscious and you're being more intentional about what you're doing, so it's
Oh, yeah.
definitely better, and I think that's what I would say. I mean, I can be like, "Walk a lot," or "Eat these types of
No,
food,"
that
but
was
no,
great.
the thing
Yeah.
is, I don't think any of those I don't care what
Yeah.
everyone is doing, like, this is what works for me. I would want
Yeah.
someone to say to me, this is the way that I was feeling,
Mhm.
and I wish I had known this back then because it would have
Yeah.
helped me push through that."
Yeah.
But, like, the recommendations about what to eat from Costco, like, I don't care. I can look up the labels too. That's what I would say.
Well,
Some and that's what I say to everyone who asks me.
yeah.
It's the 2 things. I'm a resource or an example, and celebrate the fact that
Mhm.
you're actively doing, and give yourself grace, always,
Well, thank you so much.
always.
Thank you so much. This was so, I'm sure it's going to help so many people, and your story is so inspiring. And congratulations. You seems
Thank
like you
you.
do a whole lot of work, and I really admire it. So I'm sure it hasn't been easy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys so much for listening. It truly means the world. And if you're looking for a supportive community for people who are on GLP-1s, make sure you're following Metabolism Diaries on Instagram and TikTok. And please send me a DM. I would love to say hi.